So in this video, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about the Pilot S20 mechanical pencil. I'm a huge fan of the S20 ballpoint, so of course I own it in the mechanical pencil as well. This is a really popular mechanical pencil with, I would say, with enthusiasts, despite it being not particularly cheap. It sells for at retail, maybe between $25 and $30 commonly. And it doesn't really have any high-tech features like the Kuratoga or the Delgard, but it remains a really, really popular mechanical pencil. So just to get some background on the S20, this is a real wood-bodied mechanical pencil sold in 0.3 and 0.5 millimeter versions. Typically, this is the 0.5 millimeter. It's a Japanese mechanical pencil, but you could find it pretty easily in the US, either through a pencil, like a stationery company, or through Amazon and other retailers. I haven't seen any of these sell fake. I've never seen a counterfeit one or anything like that. So I would be comfortable buying it from Amazon. I bought this one from Amazon and it cost me about $23. Typical price would be around $27, maybe low 30s, depending on if you really need the different wood colors. This is I would say the most common one, which is the dark wood. It's also sold in a reddish wood and then a yellowish wood. They feel the same. I don't really feel like they feel any different. So it really comes down to personal preference. It's not like one is made of like ironwood and one is made of teak and one is made of mahogany. I think they're like stained to be different color. And they are really wood. They have a grain. Everyone will be unique because the grain is unique. The wood has been sanded down, so there's not a lot of texture to it, but you can tell it's wood. It doesn't have knurling. There's no lines cut out of it. You really are supposed to appreciate the grain of the wood and kind of feel it break in over time. But the wood's like pretty tough. It takes a drop okay, and it doesn't really wear down with your fingers. And there's not a huge amount of texture to it. Like you really can't feel too much of the grain, but it is there. So the S20 is, generally speaking, a really well-made mechanical pencil. It has really, really nice hardware or trim, whatever you want to call it. Just like you could see this component, if I could get it to focus, is a really nice piece of metal, has a sort of aluminum feel to it. I don't know what it's specifically made out of, aluminum, magnesium, who knows. It has a fixed pipe, so this is a drafting style pencil. This does not go in at all. This piece is not automatic, so it doesn't send the lead out as you write. It doesn't spring in. It doesn't double knock. It has no fancy features like that. It's a fixed pipe drafting style pencil with a on the long, like the pipe is on the long side. I think it's 3.5 millimeters or something like that. So it's on the long side. It does not include a cap. And again, the front piece can't be hidden. So it is the way it looks. And this is how you would transport it and use it day to day. As I said, the grip is wood. If you don't want a wood grip, you could check out my comparison video that compares the S20 to the other pencils in the line. The most popular alternative of it will be this one. This is the Pilot S10, which is about half the price and has a plastic barrel and a metal grip. Here you see some of that really nice hardware. It is another piece of metal. It's printed, says Japan, and then S20. Metal clip. The metal clip is removable. I don't really know why you'd want to remove it, but you definitely could. The other pens in the line have a little roll stop here. You can see this little plastic nub. That roll stop means if you remove the clip, the pencil won't roll around on your desk. The wood version, the S20, doesn't have that roll stop. So if you remove this, which maybe you want to do, which you're just using it as a drafting type tool, and you don't need a clip because it's staying at your desk, it could roll. So I don't know, a little bit of a trade-off there. But the clip is really nicely made. It's made of folded metal. It is removable. There's no sharp edges. It works really well. It's a very small detail, but everything on this pencil has a lot of polish. It's really a well-made piece of hardware. On the top, you see there's a size indicator, so you can tell your different pencils apart. Nowhere else on this pencil does it say 0.5 millimeter or 0.3 millimeter or anything like that. So you really are relying on this piece here to know which pencil you have. I mean, theoretically, I guess you could eyeball it, but that's not that easy to do. So 0.5 millimeter up here, the way a professional drafting tool or professional aimed pencil would have. And then you have the hardness indicator here which again is another indicator this is designed to be, or at least to mimic, a professional tool. And what happens here is you could pull this piece off. You see this, this is all metal here, except for the top piece, which is plastic. You could turn this, and it's a little tight when you first get it, but it wears in over time. You can put in 2B, 2H, whatever. It doesn't have, obviously, every pencil hardness, but it has the most popular ones. Probably you're gonna have HB there. You can see it has a removable eraser, and the eraser is extendable too. So you could kind of open this little ferrule up, move the eraser up, and you could have a full-length eraser. As is fitting a professional tool, it has a cleaning rod in it. So if you were to experience a jam, you put this cleaning rod in there and dislodge any jam. You can see while the wood is on the outside and the hardware is almost entirely metal, there is still a little plastic here. This barrel is plastic. So it's not like it's a fully metal pencil, or I mean, obviously it's not fully wood either. It doesn't have wood internals. You cannot take this pencil apart as much as you can the other pencils in the series. The S10 and then the S5, which is this one, can be fully taken apart to the extent that you can't really do that with the S20, because basically the grip piece is glued or epoxied or whatever down to the inner barrel. With some force you could pull it off, but then it doesn't go back on as well as you'd like. So it really is not designed to be taken apart, but you can fix any jams with no problem. The S20 has a nice big piece of brass right here, and that holds this piece on, the front piece, and it locks that clutch and all in there. And it has a nice metal 3-piece clutch, which works quite well. I think this is, I've had no problems with this pencil as far as performance goes. I really enjoy using it. It has a nice click, and it does work quite well. So this wood piece, you would normally expect this grip either to come off now or to be able to be unscrewed. And like, if you twist it, it kind of comes off a little bit, but like, there's a lot of glue and gunk in there, and you start thinking like, I probably wasn't supposed to take that off. So if you take it off, it's not a disaster, but generally speaking, I would say just leave it on, unless you want to replace the grip, or you can put the grip on a different pencil, and that's like a pretty popular thing to do, but generally speaking, leave it alone. There's no reason to take it off, because you now have all this, that epoxy is broken, and now this could slide a little bit. But as long as you take it off that one time and you don't start messing with it too much, it will stay on there nice and tight. And this is pretty much locked in now. It does have that threading, but also don't forget about the epoxy. And that just prevents any sort of imperfections in the wood from causing this grip to rattle. Obviously, a piece of wood is like a natural thing. It can't be molded the way a piece of rubber or plastic can. So that's why there's, I think, a little bit of extra glue in there. Put this on, and it works really well. The fit and finish is all top-notch on this pencil. The quality control and all that, I feel like is really good. So as far as the click goes, it's a really nice click. Nice and clean, not too hard, not too soft. And then as far as clicking goes, let's see if we can get this lined up. So you have a good amount of throw there, not a huge amount. And obviously it's not variable. You can't adjust that the way you can on some high-end pens, but it's a sufficient amount. As I said, this piece, the front pipe, it doesn't slide in, it doesn't twist, it doesn't turn. There's no fancy goings-on or happenings at all. I don't even know that you could buy a replacement for this front component if you were to drop it. You can get the front piece from a cheaper pencil like this right here. This is a Pilot S3, sells for about $5. You can get that front piece and put it on here, but then you'll have a chromed front piece and it won't really match your otherwise matte pencil. So this right here is the Pilot S20 mechanical pencil in 0.5 millimeter. Really nice writer. I really enjoy using it. Comes with some really nice Pilot lead. Obviously, I don't think that's what's in here anymore. I've filled this thing a number of times. I guess by chance it might be, but I don't think it is. Anyway, so nice writer. No high-tech features, which I find to be like oddly annoying. The S series just doesn't have that. It's a classic drafting series, but with so many great innovations in mechanical pencils over the past couple of years, it would be nice to see something like that. But again, maybe I'm not like the purist that some other people are. I really like the wood grip. I think this is a really cool looking pencil without being over the top. You know, having like a fancy wooden pencil, it may just look kind of weird, but this one is really, I would say, kind of elegant. It has really nice contours, thin here, a wider waist, and then thin here again on the grip. I find it to be very comfortable. I don't think anyone's going to think this one is too thin. Generally speaking, I would say this is a really nice mechanical pencil and one of the best ones you could buy if you could find a pretty good deal. And I would define a good deal on this as being in between $23 and like $28. Past $30, and then I would say wait a couple weeks and wait for prices to drop, which they can fluctuate a lot. And then don't go ahead and don't spend like $40 on these, because that's like they'll be found cheaper. Plus, once you're in that range, you might want a slightly fancier pencil with some more features, or maybe even a pen and pencil set, depending on what you're looking for. Anyway, that was probably a lot of information, maybe more than you needed, on the Pilot S20. And then make sure you check out my comparison of the full Pilot S series, because all the pencils in the line are quite cool and they're all worth checking out, and they're all cheaper than the S20. Thanks for watching.